Hello, folks, and welcome to the Wrestling Review for today. I don't know what I did last week. I don't remember. But today is a special edition of the Wrestling Review because this is actually going to go as an audio version as well on the Fresh Johnson podcast page at wctn.webs.com. That's the White Cat of the Night homepage. And so, in a way, it is a special edition because usually when I say it is a special edition, it's not. So, let's hop right to it here. Let me start it off by saying another week where The Rock doesn't show up. Come on. He's the WWE champion. When was the last time the WWE champion didn't have at least one match on Raw, even though he was the champion? It just doesn't make sense. I'm tired of him not being around. I want to see him around. Anything. I mean, have him come around and slip on a banana peel. Anything would be better than what we're getting now. It's like they told the guy that does the truck, go and, that little, that video package we did last week? Go ahead and redo that and just add some different music. That'll work. Yeah, we'll do the same thing this week too. And I don't know. I just don't get it. Anyway, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and AJ, it's last year all over again. And I would be upset except for the fact that when this happened last year, AJ ended up soaring, becoming GM, and yada yada. We know how that went, and whatever. That's fine. It's interesting though because later we have the D-Bry, Kane, and Dolph match, or I forget who was in the actual match, but so now we're gonna have this tag team championship at WrestleMania apparently, which is fine. Because I think it almost guarantees a cash-in by Dolph. Because, well, I think it could go one of two ways. If D-Bry and Kane hold the titles, then Dolph is going to cash in and probably win. If they lose the titles, then I don't see Dolph being the tag team champions. The tag team champion. I'm so used to, I'm the tag team champions. I don't see Dolph and Big E Langston being the tag team champions, plus Dolph cashes in and is the WrestleMania cash-in guy. That's stupid. Also known as the World Heavyweight Champion. But then again, he could win it. They could win the tag team titles, and Dolph could not cash in and wait all the way until... which is kind of interesting. Do you think he would wait all the way until the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view to cash in? That'd be kind of annoying. But I think there's going to be another way out of Daniel Bryan and Kane having the titles other than Dolph Ziggler. Because look how many things Dolph Ziggler is involved in all the time. He's got Big E, he's got AJ, now he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, now he's going to go for the tag team titles. There's too much on his plate. I think you got to give somebody... I'd like to see actually Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow get a chance at the titles again. Give it to them or give it to the primetime players. I don't know. Then again, with the Rhodes Scholars, you've got the Bella Twins involved again, and that's going to be a whole nother thing. But speaking of the Rhodes Scholars, Cody Rhodes versus Alberto Del Rio, I realized while watching this match that Cody Rhodes can look weird sometimes, but I can sense that there's good things in his future. I can see him getting the World Heavyweight Championship or something. Or maybe, say, once Cena wins the title from The Rock at WrestleMania, maybe Cody Rhodes goes up against John Cena. Because there's the great thing about the way that WrestleMania is shaping right now, even though it's kind of... I'm underwhelmed at the moment. But the great thing about the way that it's shaping up is that we're going to have a lot of new stuff come immediately, I hope, the Raw after WrestleMania, because Rock and Cena isn't going to go on. CM Punk's going to have his thing with The Undertaker. That's going to be done. So you got to have something new for him. You got to have something new for John Cena. And I think the most exciting thing at WrestleMania is actually going to be the World Heavyweight Championship. And the WWE Championship match is just another replay. But a lot of new things coming up. And I can see that Cody Rhodes might get a chance at one of the titles. Because I can see him being all mustached around and doing the whole, ooh, I've got the championship sort of thing. Or maybe give him the World Heavyweight title and give Damian Sandow the WWE title. Or vice versa. I mean, that could be interesting. And the other thing I noticed from this is that Alberto Del Rio, once he loses the title, he doesn't have a lot of places to go. He's kind of like he's got two things. He can be the heel, the Mexican guy, but now they've got him as the good guy. It's funny because the guy who's anti-American is the American in this story, and the guy who is the American hero is actually Mexican. So good kudos to the WWE for that, but it's just kind of interesting how they did that. And speaking of that whole thing, Jack Swagger looked all right against Randy Orton, but then I came to this realization: why do people even cheer for Randy Orton anymore? I know he's had every title in the world, but that whole time has passed, and he's not like a hero, Chris Jericho or The Rock coming back, where yeah, and he does these great storylines. He's nothing anymore. He doesn't do anything. What's the point of having him around? I don't get it. People still cheer for him, though. And that was Sheamus and Orton. That's why they brought that up. Swagger interrupted that match between Sheamus, Orton, and 3MB, which, by the way, means clearly Sheamus and Randy Orton really have nothing to do and don't mean anything since they're going against 3MB. Wade Barrett, Miz, and Chris Jericho, that three-way for the Intercontinental title. I liked that. I think it's great how one man, Chris Jericho, can make these other guys look so good in a match. And it really was for being kind of... I don't care for The Miz, and I don't care for Wade Barrett. But with Chris Jericho in that match, it became a good match, and I enjoyed it. So at the very end, we get Triple H coming out and giving a royal beating to Paul Heyman. And I really enjoyed the beating. I loved it. I loved how Paul Heyman was screaming, Brock! Brock! You know, sort of a thing. That was so great. But I've got two questions. No, I only have one question. Why can't Triple H wear a suit when he's going to be involved in a match? He's still the COO, or whatever his official position is in the WWE, not storyline involved. He's still a member of the brass, if you will. Vince McMahon still wears a suit. I think Triple H could wear a suit with just his t-shirt underneath instead of a button-up shirt, and still have the same effect now that he's cut his hair. I mean, you need to see that he's an important part of the company. He's not just the guy he's not just the cerebral assassin. He's now the cerebral boardroom member. And I think you got to see that I think it would add something to the storyline. And I think maybe the WWE thinks that, well, we don't want him to know that he's a businessman anymore, sort of a thing. But I think it would actually add to the story. So, why not put on a suit? But the beating to Paul Heyman was great. The thing I loved at the end, though, after the beating, Brock comes out, rescues Heyman. Heyman, oh, by the way, here's the stipulations. And it's going to be what we pretty much all expected. No holds barred. Audience, yeah! And then, oh yeah, by the way, your career is on the line. All right. Yeah. Is the show over? What was the reaction we got from the crowd? And I just thought that was hilarious. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if Triple H's career is on the line, because it means he's automatically going to win. Because Brock Lesnar only has a certain amount of appearances, and the whole thing, whatever. I mean, obviously he's going to win. Your career's on the line. Okay. Yeah? The crowd just didn't care. So, that is the end of this week's wrestling review. Glad to be here. Not really, though. I hate doing this. And if you're listening to this off of the Fresh Johnson podcast, I appreciate it. We're on YouTube, too. YouTube.com/WhiteCatOfTheNight. Or you can catch it on our main page, WCTN.webs.com, under the podcast section of the Dealio. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. Maybe got another video coming out this week. We shall see. Till next time, I'm the White Cat of the Night. Meow.